Downriver Poets and Playwrights have two separate formats here on this Wyandotte cable poetry venue. You've seen our
Poetry from the Dot
show where our member poets read their fine works. But this show, Behind the Poetry Lines, is a panel discussion that tries to delve into what's behind the poems, discuss what thoughts or choices or actions or impulses brought the poet to writing the poem. This show also tries to cover some other writing issues such as things like writer's block and so forth, and getting going and editing and such. I'm here with my co-leader, Dennis White, to host this episode, and joining us is the novelist and poet and longtime member, Kathy Gibson. Dennis?
Yes. I'm glad we could stop and share some of our process with you about our writing. Everybody has a process when they write. Not all processes are right for everybody. People learn what works for them and what doesn't work for them. But we like to share how we write and the things that we've learned along the way, so maybe you can get some value out of it, and maybe you could try some of the things that we do, see if they work for you. I would like to go ahead and give it back to George so he could ask the first question.
Thanks, Dennis. The first question we're going to ask each other is about getting stalled, not writing, having trouble getting going. When you're stuck or stalled, how do you get started again? We don't have magic, but we have some suggestions for you. But what methods or rituals or tricks get you to going again? And I'm going to start with Kathy.
Wow, that's a tough question because it takes a lot of effort, takes discipline. But yet, it takes serendipity. You know, when the words come, I'll get a little, what Dave Rexroth says on television, the weatherman, something that'll zip through my mind, and then I think, that's something important, and I have to scramble to find a piece of paper and a pencil and get it down before I lose it. And then in time I will take it, usually pretty much right away, because you get a feeling with words like that, and you grab them and you put them down, and then they move from there. You're thinking about, okay, what does this mean to me? And I think I write that way a lot of serendipity. Whatever comes to mind. I can think of a time when I was in the grocery store, and there must have been 25 people ahead of me, back then. And I had one small piece of paper. And I started writing ideas about what it was like to stand in line, and all the other things that I should be doing, or all the things that other people should be doing. And here we are all standing in line. It wasn't a silly poem. It was a real, I really had to think about what it meant for the time that we were in. Yes. And so it meant something. But I think the most important thing that we can do as writers is to just write. Get it on paper. Just write it down, no matter whether it comes in order or comes out of order, or whether it's you can't find the right word. I put parentheses around the right word or the word that I'm searching for, and then I'll just write and write and write and write. And sometimes I get a complete poem, sometimes I don't. But we all grew up with pencils and paper. So I still write with pencils and paper. And after I do that, then I'll set it aside, and the next day I'll type it into the computer. And then I can rearrange it. I can look up the words I need to insert there. I can give myself a chance to think about the scene, the picture that I'm trying to tell. And that makes me think of a scene that I had seen in Texas, West Texas, big clouds, big spot of sunshine landed in the middle of the field behind my house. And it moved all the way across the field, and of course the clouds are moving, so the spot moved. And I thought, I need to write a scene like that in my book. So here we are, it's snowing, and here's a heavy bank of clouds coming over, and there's a spot. And so I wrote that because I felt like it gave some meaning to the scene, to the person who was in the scene, that kind of thing. And that's something else that we can write about too, is if we can't write about anything else, we can write about our own lives. And I keep thinking about, what am I leaving for my kids? Do they know anything about me? Well, that's a perfect thing to write about, is yourself. It sounds kind of self-serving, but honest to goodness, your kids will not know who you are until you tell them, and they'll forget. Their memories will morph like ours do, and in time, we won't remember the truth.
Right.
Yes.
Or at least how we thought it happened at the time. Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
I've studied a little bit, trying to get out of the writer's block. And one coach told me, sit, stay, and write. Just write. But to sit first and build the scene, find the character, find the emotion, find the tension, find the movement of the poem, if we're writing, a poem, and give it 10 minutes, and then write. And go there, wherever you are in your scene, go there. And then I read Jerry Jenkins, the Left Behind writer, and he said writer's block is a myth. It's a myth. I don't believe that, and yet I do, because he says it's fear, procrastination, and perfection that we're dealing with. And he said to stand up to it the way you would a bully, see it as a myth, and to turn our fear into humility and humility into hard work. That's a tough call. That's hard to do, but I keep remembering it's a myth. I can overcome it. I just need to sit, stay, and write. And it's okay. It doesn't have to be disciplined, although good writers who write books and books and books, they're disciplined.
Yes, they have to be.
They have to be, yeah, or they won't get it done. So I could go on, but I'll quit there.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you. Dennis?
Those are some great ideas, Kathy, and I can relate to them myself, especially about having the ideas and writing them down while they're present, because good ideas slip away from me so easily. So many times I've had a thought. I thought about something. I thought, boy, that'd make a great poem, but I didn't write it down. When I came back to try to remember what it was wasn't there. So that's a good, hang on to ideas. You have to. But as far as what do I do when I'm stalled in writing, if I feel I have writer's block, first I walk away and give myself a rest, a well-deserved break, a cup of tea, maybe take a walk, perhaps outdoors or into another room, to stimulate my other senses, sight, sounds, and even aromas. Also, if I am writing and I get to a point that I run out of words, I find a good thing for me is to pick up a dictionary, to pick up a thesaurus, or to pick up a writing book that, like I have this one here, 400 writing prompts. Just to open it up, go through the pages. Every few lines they have another suggestion about writing. You can set aside your original poem or whatever you're writing. Set it aside. Let it cool off a little bit. Sometimes when you get writer's block, you're just trying too hard. You have to relax. So when you step away from it and look at other tools, like you go to a dictionary, and just leaf through it and find some real interesting words. Words that bring so many ideas and new thoughts in your mind, things that you can explore. I find that to be real helpful when I facing writer's block. And once I have stepped away from what I was working on, and I take a break, whether it's looking through the dictionary or the thesaurus or looking at other writers' prompts, I find that the original work that I was working on is new and fresh again. I could walk back into it, and it's like greeting an old friend, and I get back into the conversation, and I'm able to write. Because I've cleared some of the cobwebs out of my mind by the relaxing and stepping away, but when you get back to it, you wake up your muse, and your muse is ready to share words with you so you can write. So that's what I do when I'm get stuck, and I hope that helps somebody else, because it works for me. It might work for you, so give it a try.
Well, thank you, Dennis. I have a few ideas here. Kathy mentioned pencil and paper. I have one nearby, and of course today an awful lot of people have cell phones. A lot of them will use a little note app, whether it's for grocery list or whether it's for brainstorming or whatever. But a lot of poets use it, and writers too, to write down an idea. Some of them can even go voice to text, so they could be somewhere and talking to their phone for an idea. But not everybody does that. But that's one thing. How to get writing when you've stopped? Well, you can start with doing an outline if you're not sure what you want to write. And the outline doesn't have to be very formal. But on it you could put, what do I want to achieve with this? And I'm thinking about poetry. Do I want to use a poetic form, like, haiku or sonnet or whatever? Although none of that's required, it's a good way to start. Are there already words in my head that I'd like to include? Did I sit down with some kind of idea? And then who is my audience? Is it me,
Good question.
a significant other, a family member, or a poetry group, a video, my next book? Is it a contest, or I'm just writing because I want to and having fun? Dennis mentioned engage with your environment. Look around. A tree, a flower, shopping trip, a family event, a dreaded medical thing. Borrow from others. Grab some famous author or poet and read it. You don't have to steal their work, but you can get an idea inspired by them. Maybe even mimic their style. Tap into your personal experiences, or your losses, or your pains, or defeats, or your victories. Have you paid tribute to a parent, to a family member? Separate your writing from your editing. Get it down first. It can be a mess, but get it down first and then edit.
Yes, good point.
Because you get caught up in editing, like, oh, I could use a different word. Just circle that word and move on. Get it done. And then, even though most people are comfortable in a certain writing environment, if you're not successful there, go somewhere else. Go to a coffee shop, library, go to a different room, go outdoors with a notepad. Try to have fun and get to writing. Okay.
Good stuff, George.
The second question we have is we normally will pick a poem that we either have written or cover of some other poet, and explain why you wrote it, why you chose it, what stimulated to write it. I'll start with a poem from my book, Why Did I Remain in the Garden? And this poem is a list poem, and some of you, there are more people writing list poems than will admit it, because a lot of poems are realistic. But this is a list poem, and it's tongue-in-cheek, sort of sort of a little bit sarcastic. What have I learned? I've learned that watching a puppy run into a chair leg is a perfect learning lesson. I've learned that there are no lasting rewards for winning arguments. That your neighbor's barbecue smells better than yours. That a child is never cold when trying out a new bike on Christmas morning. That as you age, you get more interested in humans than money. That one of the best fitness exercises I can do is to thicken my skin. That life's rewards have more to do with how you act than what you believe. That language grows wisdom and wisdom grows language. That receiving a handwritten thank you note is better. That the connection between knowledge and tolerance is real. That walking down a trail is great, but blazing a new trail is even better. That a newly opened pizza box is almost better than sex. That we never get tired of rainbows and sunsets. That in marriage, compromise pays back many times over than victories. That if you wash dishes with someone you really like, it's actually fun. That before I exercise, I often forget how good I feel after. That spotting yourself in a store mirror and thinking it's okay, that's a reward. That I will always pay a grandchild to scratch my head. That finding out a friend loves the same song you do, that's a treasure. That watching the steam on your coffee cup is sometimes the best you can do. And that the smartest people I know can address ideas, not just people. That placing a extra blanket on a child at bedtime is always rewarding. And that there is mac and cheese, and then there is mac and cheese. That the best resolutions are not about what you eat, but are about how you treat others. That waking up to pee is actually going back to sleep is a miracle. That we might have to set aside some greed to save humanity. That Yogi Berra was right when he said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. That I missed every shot I didn't take. And again, the reason what was behind this was just sitting down one day and listing some things like that were sort of humorous, and then realizing, well, this could be a poem. It doesn't have any great messages. It's meant to be lighthearted, perhaps a little ironic, perhaps a little telling. But it's a list poem is a good way to start. You can always change it around if you don't like the form. Thank you. And after me, it's Kathy. Yeah.
Oh, I have to say, George, that's one of my favorite poems of yours. I think the older we get, the more we can appreciate these bits of wisdom that we've gained, that we've received, somehow just by thinking about it. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking, okay, how can I describe what it's like to write a poem, or how to overcome the lack of. And I remembered that I'd written a poem with words to music that I grew up with in high school. One song would just not leave me alone. And so I thought, okay, I'll start with that and work my way through the poem. And so there are 3 quotes in here from the 60s music, but that's okay. They're still important to me. They're not going to become any less important. So I've titled this one, Summer Had Inhaled. Summer had inhaled and held its breath too long. Spiders throw their silk to the wind. Robin's seasonal departure leaves the yard silent, like a far-off storm approaching. Before that cold white time, I know the trees will fill their canopies with blinding, glorious color, a palette of ochres, deep sandstones, and bright umbers. And in the Rockies, aspen, gold and quaking soft, sawing together narrow trunks, touching their heads, in seasoned surrender. And I'm trying to breathe, to even raise my head in anticipation of this crowning season. Dare I doubt? What if, like so much of this year, autumn does not arrive? What if she too holds her breath? My soul then will wither, dry, shatter, retreat to the earth. Maybe for one brief shining moment I will be ablaze with good words, not those which tear and strain to rhyme.
Very nice.
And of course, one was Jefferson Airplane, the other was King Arthur from Camelot, and the third was from Simon and Garfunkel. So in regard to, I've been on the forest floor with the aspen quaking above my head. I know what that feels like, and I thought that's a perfect scene, and here we are in the summertime now. We're almost in the same position we are now. So weather is a good thing to talk about, to write about. I mean, we live with it. It's like scent, like you mentioned, aroma.
Yes.
We live with that, and some of us have smelled different things.
Absolutely.
The senses are very powerful. They open your mind to ideas, and it really, what poetry is self-expression. From what we take in, we share and put out back into the world. And our senses are so very important to a poet.
Yes.
Yes.
Dennis?
All right.
Okay.
We write poetry for many, many reasons and for many different occasions. Yeah, we may write for nature, from the things we've seen and we're inspired by. We may write to acknowledge a special time and event for an anniversary or a birthday. We write things that are inside us that we feel we need to release. Things that we've learned that we feel that would be good to share with others. And there are so many different times and different kinds of things we write about. I'm going to read you this poem, and then I'm going to say a few words after it, why I wrote it. The title of this poem is Richard Campbell. Framer of light and form, shaping and preserving video time capsules, while orchestrating coherent sound bites. A true master artist, standing in the shadows, allowing others to shine in his light. We bow to your product of captured memories, cherished with each and every viewing, knowing you deserve more praise and thanks for sharing your skill, your truth, and light. Richard, you are appreciated by your grateful subjects. Please accept our sincere and thanks and praise, because you are worthy of it. This is a tribute poem to our videographer that is filming us right now. He has been such a delightful person, an encouraging person. He's a person that builds us up, the Downriver Poets. He has taken our pictures and our images, and he has shared them in many different ways, and has promoted the group through his skills and through his connections. We are so very appreciative of Richard, and I think all of us here would like to congratulate Richard, because, well, what a wonderful job he has done for us. And I know this is kind of a surprise to him for me reading this, but every word is true, and Richard has done a wonderful job. And we share special things through poetry, and this is one of them. We write tribute poems to people that we appreciate and people we'd like to acknowledge and let others know also. And this is the reason why I wrote this poem, and I will continue to write all different kinds of poetry, but the tribute poems are very special, and I think I will continue to write them. And I'm glad I've had this occasion to share this one.
Good.
So,
Okay, well, Dennis, you want to wrap it up then?
all right.
Could I
Oh, yeah, sure.
say a real quick
Kathy,
quote?
yes.
Okay. William Wordsworth said, "Fill your paper with the breathings of your heart."
Very, very well put.
Awfully good.
Yep,
Awfully
yep.
good.
Yes. All right. Well, this has been another session of Behind the Poetry Lines. We hope we've said some things that might inspire you to think about writing. And not only think about writing, start writing yourselves. We are been writing, and we know it is a good release for us. That we, rather than keep things inside, we let them out. We share them, and it's a good thing to share. And in our group, we encourage it. Everybody has something special to say, and we encourage people to release those things that they know, the wisdom they have, the light they have, to share it with others and let others appreciate it too. We are a poetry group in Wyandotte. We meet on the first Tuesday of each month at the Bacon Memorial Library. And we would invite people that would be interested in writing, even if they aren't writing right now, to come see what we do, come visit us and see what we do. And it might be something that they might want to participate in too. We welcome new writers, we welcome seasoned writers, and everybody is equal in our group. We don't play favorites, and like I said, everybody has something special to say. They should get a chance to release it, and that's what we're about. So come join us, come look and see, and I think you'll be impressed with the group, and you'd certainly be welcome. It's a very welcoming group. So is there anything else I should add, George?
Well, I just want to thank Joel Atkins at the studio, of course, and we already mentioned Richard behind the camera
Yes.
here. This Behind the Poetry Lines is one part of our two per day video, thanks to Channel 15. The other one, of course, is Poetry from the Dot. Thank you.